Well, mixed emotions once again. I think if you'd have offered me 2-2 at the start of the game, I'd have probably taken it. I think if you'd have offered me 2-2 at half time, I'd have snapped your hand off. But then if you'd have offered me 2-2 at 2-1, I'd have said, what have we done wrong this time? And ultimately, that's how I come out of this game. I think over the balance of the play, Liverpool will look at that game as a game that they should have won. And I think based off of the position we got ourselves back into, it's definitely a game that from 2-1 we definitely should not have lost. So again, 2-2 is probably about right in my mind. Like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of Liverpool fans watching this saying that Liverpool should have won the game. And look, they should have put us to bed in the first half. They didn't. That's football. They could have put us to bed in the last 5 minutes, but they didn't. So we hung in. We played very well at times. I think the centre-back partnership, I think Maguire and Kambwala were absolutely fantastic. I think the whole back line, to be honest, bar one moment, played really, really well. And I think my first complaint has to be, again, about the Chelsea game, which was one of my biggest complaints from the Chelsea game, as to why Wan-Bissaka and Dalot were the other way round against Chelsea. Because, I'm not being funny, barring the incident, again, Wan-Bissaka gave Salah absolutely nothing. And barring that one chance right towards the end, Dalot didn't give Diaz anything. So I'm happy with the defence. I think we played well in that regard. Very lazy again in the first half. I think the decision to take Rashford off definitely made an impact. But, you know, ultimately, we draw the game 2-2. And what frustrates me the most is that the 2 goals we concede come from the same mistakes that we've talked about so many times, especially the set-piece one. How many times have I brought up the diagram of how we defend set plays? I could score a set piece against Manchester United. We know how they're going to line up. Rashford on the front post, Bruno in front of them, Maguire in the middle, the tallest midfielder, and then Dalot on the back post. Then we have our 3 other players marking their 3 tall players, and we don't cover anyone in the middle. Cross comes in. Poor old Wan-Bissaka's got no chance against Darwin Núñez because he's taller than him, more physical than him, and better at jumping than him. So obviously Núñez wins the header. Ball drops to Luis Diaz. Dalot drops into the back post. That's his instruction. I'm sure some people are going to have a go at Diogo Dalot for not closing down the shot from Diaz, but that's his job. He's been told by the set-piece defensive coach that when the cross comes in, you then make that move to the back post. So Dalot's gone to there. Diaz shoots. Onana does get a hand to it, and again, I'm sure some anti-Onana people are going to say he probably should have done better, but it's a bouncing shot. He had no idea how Diaz was going to hit it, and it's in the back of the net for 1-0. From that point on, once again, the players just down tools, couldn't be asked, really disappointed with how they played from that basically moment on until half-time. And like I said, Liverpool probably should have been 2 or 3 up at half-time, but they weren't. We kept ourselves in it. And by the looks of it, we were so bad that Liverpool became too casual. And unfortunately, for a young man who I rate very highly, you know, I say, even as a Manchester United fan, I'm England first before I'm Man United, and I really like Kwanzaa. I think he's got a good future at Liverpool. Hopefully at Liverpool, because I want young English players playing for the best teams, and hopefully a long future with England. But he's gone far too casual. He's played it short. And Bruno Fernandes, with one of the goals of the season in terms of technique and finish, I have to say, Kelleher is a lucky, lucky boy, because he tries to save that, and he very nearly does. And it's a much, much different game if he does save it, because he is getting sent off. And then who knows what would have happened, because they'd have been down to 10 men and Adrian would have been going in goal. Oh, that'd have been interesting. But it's 1-1. It then becomes a scrap fest like it did in the FA Cup game. It wakes us up. Why this team needs something like that to motivate them for a Manchester United-Liverpool game, I don't know. But it motivated them. It got them going. And we started creating chances. But it was obvious that 2 players, Rashford and Casemiro, were absolutely not up to it today. Rashford then decided to give up, which I've seen Marcus Rashford do on many occasions. At least he had the courtesy to tell the bench this time that he was giving up. He sat down, Anthony came on, and an immediate impact. An absolute immediate impact. Garnacho comes over to the left-hand side, gets running at the Liverpool defence, ball inside, and Kobbie Mainoo. I mean, what else can you say about this kid? Other than, you know, if we don't finish well this season, could we lose him to the likes of a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich, or, you know, I'm not being funny, 18 years of age, he's got the world at his feet. Should he be at a Manchester United team that was probably going to be nothing better than the Europa League at best? Just saying. But brilliant goal from Kobbie Mainoo. And it looks like we're in a position where we can win the game. Then the second big mistake. The exact same big mistake that Erik ten Hag made against Chelsea. He took Garnacho off for a central midfielder. And look, I know I said we'll get to Wan-Bissaka, and we will get to Wan-Bissaka. But we lost the outlet again. And they were talking about it on commentary, or in the lead up to the goal, Liverpool was starting to get on top again. The moment Garnacho went off and Amrabat came on, Liverpool became on top again because we lost our outlet again. Every time we try and clear the ball, I don't know why we always clear the ball left, but we do. We always clear it left. I felt a little bit sorry for Anthony because every time we won the ball back, we just cleared it left. Now, I don't know. It's probably because everyone's right-footed. I can't think of any of a better explanation for that. But everyone's right-footed, so naturally you're just going to clear it that way. So I think that's probably what's happening. So for me, that's on Ten Hag to move Anthony over to the left because then we actually have a pacey outlet. But that's where the goal comes from. It's a loose clearance that I'm 100% convinced Garnacho would have got to. But because it's Bruno and he's a hell of a lot slower, Konsa gets there first, Bruno dives in, ball goes round the outside, cut back inside, Wan-Bissaka does what Wan-Bissaka does. He goes to the floor like he always does. Harvey Elliott is very smart. Don't get me wrong, Harvey Elliott is very, very smart. I'm not fully convinced it's a penalty. It's what my dad would call a Freddie Ljungberg. It's what probably our generation would call an Ashley Young. He sees the slide tackle coming and he just sticks that right leg out and then falls over it. For me, that's as much simulation as it is a foul. But like with the ones the other night, once it's given, it's never going to be overturned. So I'm not going to say that shouldn't be a penalty, blah, 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 blah. Wan-Bissaka shouldn't go to ground in the penalty area when he's nowhere near the ball. And like I say, once it's been given, never in a million years getting overturned. So I can accept that. But like I said, it's come from the decision from Erik ten Hag to essentially restrict our ability to get out. I understand putting more defensive-minded players on, but don't take off your outlets. It would have made more sense to take Højlund off, because at least then we'd have still had the width and could have then progressed through that area. But yeah, the decision to take Garnacho off has unfortunately cost us another couple of points today. And I don't really have much more to say, to be honest. Like I say, Liverpool will feel they deserve to win the game. I think we did a lot better than I expected, especially in that second half. Already covered how disappointed I am with the first half. Again, Kambwala and Maguire, absolutely fantastic. I'd probably give Kambwala the man of the match purely because he's the younger of the two, and coming in for a massive game like that, the energy, the way he was trying to G up the crowd every time he made a tackle, really impressed with him. Also very impressed with Onana in goal as well. Great save from Szoboszlai at the start of the game. And yeah, 2-2 is the final result. We fail to capitalise on Aston Villa's slip-up. Tottenham take on Nottingham Forest later on tonight and will most likely win. So, again, the pursuit of Champions League football looks ever as far away as possible. But in theory, we only have one tough game left, in theory, which is, of course, Arsenal at home. And we'll see what happens in that one. But we take it one game at a time. Can we still get Champions League? I'm not so sure. Hopefully we get at least the final of the FA Cup. I'll be fuming if we don't beat Coventry, with the greatest respect to Coventry. But it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. As always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow morning, where we'll be bringing back Champions League predictions. I'll see you there.